Hey, hello everyone. Welcome back to Pixel Village, and I'm Radha Krishnan. It is a Tuesday morning. I know that most people have started working. Lockdown has been relaxed in many parts of the country and many parts of the globe. So, okay. So I got my. Welcome back to Pixel Village. I need to reduce this volume otherwise. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. And but we decided to go live because lots of people are still at home, and we thought this is probably the time when people can improve their understanding, their professional understanding. And as Pixel Village, where our prime objective is to enrich the technical understanding, the professional understanding of the community. We thought it's only appropriate that we put this time to a good use. And we are trying to bring in as many professionals as possible from various parts of the globe to you, and so that they can help you in improving your understanding. A couple of weeks back, we had Andrew from Deity Microphones talking to us about audio for mobile phones. And today, he is back. In fact, you caught a glimpse of him just before we actually began, because I messed up some settings on my console, and you caught a glimpse of him. But he is already here. Wanting to share his understanding about audio. He's a perfect guy. Last time he explained the concepts of audio to a photographer in photographic terms, so it was really so easy to understand. He did not use any jargons. I mean, he used terminologies which are familiar for a photographer, and he explained everything in terms of dynamic range and exposure and distance and shutter speed and all that, and it was so easy to understand and assimilate what he spoke on that day. Now he's back here to talk to us about audio for DSLR and mirrorless filmmaking. They're basically the same. The reason why I used DSLR stroke mirrorless is that people will still ask, oh, can I use this on mirrorless? Oh, can I use this on DSLR, etc. So the technique is the same. The fundamental principles are the same. So he's here to explain to you what it is all about. And he is going to be here. He is going to take questions. So ask questions, or you can note down your questions and ask when an appropriate time comes. Though he loves to take questions in between. If you have a question, ask them in the comments column, and I'll pick them and I will bring it up onto the screen. So I'd like to show you a little bit about Deity. Before I start, let me tell you, the objective here is not to sell Deity, all right? I mean, that's not what I am here for. I'm here for is to, I'm just acting as a mediator to, get that information up to you. But because it is made possible by Deity, I'd like to tell you a little bit more about Deity as a brand. Okay. There's a technical delay, I suppose. Okay.
On a video shoot, you don't have time to waste. And when audio is often the last thing on your mind, you need microphones that you can trust. Microphones that work every time, no matter what or where you're shooting. Introducing the VMic D3 and D3 Pro from Deity Microphones. Until now, the options for on-camera mics were limited. There were cheap, passive microphones that suffered from noisy performance, and expensive active microphones that still didn't solve your problems. But the VMic D3 and D3 Pro do it all, offering an affordable solution with features that solve the problems you actually come across on set. We asked video shooters what they wanted in an on-camera microphone and then took the unprecedented next step. We actually listened. First and foremost, we designed the world's first smart microphones. Both the D3 and D3 Pro feature microprocessors with sensors that digitally shake hands with nearly whatever you plug them into. This means you no longer have to carry around a handful of adapters. You plug in the microphone, and it just works. Both microphones feature a lightweight aluminum design that makes them incredibly durable. While other brands' microphones are made out of plastic, we wanted to give our on-camera microphones the same build quality you'd see from a more expensive shotgun mic. The VMic D3 is powered off a single AAA battery and will run up to a whopping 208 hours. It also features an auto sleep mode that conserves battery life when you turn the camera off. But we didn't stop there. We also developed a premium on-camera mic that redefines what you should expect from a microphone. Instead of a AAA battery, we gave the D3 Pro an internal rechargeable lithium-ion battery that charges in less than 2 hours and will run for 4 working days. Both the D3 and D3 Pro command a sensitive 14mm microphone capsule. With their ultra-flat, natural tones, our microphones record sounds exactly the way they were performed without any added bass or mid-range boost. The ability to capture a flat frequency response is every sound designer's dream. And now, you have the power to achieve it too. The D3 Pro also features 2 levels of low cut at 75Hz and 150Hz that help reduce light wind and background noise. Co-engineered with Rycote, our VMic series gives you the same shock support that boom operators around the globe count on daily. Whether you're running around the canals of Amsterdam or grooving it out at the dance studio, you shouldn't have to worry about handling noise. Bridging those Rycote layers is a single piece of lightweight aluminum that features one more trick. Now, for the first time ever, you can adjust your on-camera microphone to work in tandem with your gimbal and ensure perfect balance. We've also paired the D3 Pro with a Rycote pistol grip and designed the DSLR to fit snugly in the handle, allowing you to take your microphone off your camera and onto your boom pole. You carry enough gear with you. We believe your microphones should do more than just be stuck to your camera. At the end of the day, we designed true video production microphones, not just on-camera mics. Because we don't want you to be limited and locked into one way of using your equipment. Video shoots have become multi-format and multi-platform. And now, so are your microphones. How will you use them?
That's right. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening to that. The reason why I showed that is that we're going to be giving away one D3 Pro free to one viewer who asked a relevant question today. So stay there. Like I said, keep your notebooks ready, note down your doubts, ask those questions, and the deity people are watching this show. They'll pick a person and they'll give away wherever in the world, whichever part of the world you may be in. They'll send one D3 Pro to your home to that winner. Okay, so without wasting any more time, let me get Andrew onto the screen. Hi.
Hey, how are you?
Very well, yeah. Andrew, it must be good morning there by now.
It crossed over about 11 minutes ago here in Los Angeles, but I'll tell you, this is one of my favorite shows to get to come on. So it's not morning, it's just part of my day.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Andrew, for agreeing to come back once again. So like you must have heard, today's discussion is going to be on DSLR and mirrorless based video making.
Yeah. This is actually something I'm super passionate. This is actually something I'm super passionate about because my background is in the camera world. When we did our session all about the mobile phone, I did a ton of little research. For this one, it's like I'm excited to share some cool stuff.
Sure. Thank you very much. And last time when you were here, you talked about mobile phone video. How different is it audio for mobiles and how the audio for DSLR and mirrorless? How different is it?
You know, I think it's uniquely different in the sense that, well, it looks the same. It acts the same. And in the end, the files don't know that they came off of. They don't know they came off of a mobile. The file doesn't know that it came off of a camera that's got a big sensor that's like, full frame and it's 100 megabits. Like the file just goes, I've got 2 strips of audio here. This is the bit rates that it was all set to. So in some aspects, it's identical. But what's uniquely different about it is the options available outside of the actual device that's actually doing the recording, which in this case is the DSLR. There's so many options for DSLRs because of just the sheer size of it and the ergonomics of it that allow you to play with some really cool features and really expand your options to what you can get when you're shooting.
Okay, and same goes. The DSLR and mirrorless also got an inbuilt in-camera audio.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk a little bit about how good they are and why would probably you need an external source?
Yeah. I mean, well, let's talk about what happened. What was it like? I think last week, which was Sony's new ZV-1 that just came out.
Yes.
Sony's like, this is the most amazing camera in the world for vloggers. And everyone's like, why, Sony? Why is it so amazing? Well, Sony's like, because we added a good microphone. And they were really proud of themselves. And like the fact that a camera manufacturer has that as one of the biggest selling points for a camera goes to show you just how much camera manufacturers in the past, let's just say, cared about those microphones that were built in. They weren't they weren't the number one feature being pushed in a camera was a microphone. Yet Sony a week ago was like, one of the coolest things about this camera is not the camera. And that pretty much sums up what really needs to be said about any built-in microphone built into your camera. It's there. It works. But it's not something that you're going to want to use in your edits. If you want to take your edits and your creativity to a level of which you are proud to share them, and you wouldn't worry about someone who you don't know saying something negative about it, that's where you kind of elevate and you start using other things than the built-in camera microphone.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, now, so immediately the next question is, what are the solutions?
Exactly. So this is where the
By the way, you're
sounding
superb. I mean, in my ears, it's crystal clear. I can even hear you, you're breathing.
Oh, thank you. It's actually this microphone I've got set up. I don't want to take the windscreen off because you hear all the noise, but we're actually running an XLR microphone, one of our premium shotgun microphones that we make. We're running it into our HDTX, which is our kind of pocket recorder / wireless transmitter. There in India, this will actually transmit and record at the same time. So that's kind of a cool feature that the Indian market will get to really play with. That's what you're hearing me right now. But when we talk about what are the options, though, for the DSLR market, you could be talking about anything that can get on the camera. But then, because I'm assuming you're not going to edit, in your camera, you're not going to use the little trim tool built into the video player, you're going to take it into a proper editor. Whereas on the mobile world, you may shoot it, you may go directly live, you may use the editor built into your mobile. I'm going to assume that you're going to take the footage out of your camera, your DSLR, your mirrorless, and take it into a computer. And as soon as you go into real editing software, which is really what makes the process of working with DSLRs different than mobile phones, is there's proper post-production in the sense of you can control anything that you want. And even if you're using free software out there like DaVinci Resolve, OneShot, if you're over on the Linux platform, you can really do anything you want. And that's where things like this little guy, this little Zoom recorder, which I have owned for a decade now. I still use it if I need to. You can pick these things up on eBay for like $50. And this is one of the best tools that DSLR people can use, because so often we look at a DSLR microphone like this one, which is the one that we're doing for the Lucky Dip in this show. This is the one that you guys just saw the commercial for.
Yep.
This guy, it works great on camera. I mean, you can see we designed it to go right on top of your cold shoe for your camera, but that doesn't mean it has to live there. Underneath you'll find a threaded adapter. I can put this on a stand. I can put this like on a boom pole that I have over here. I can put this microphone in that blimp or do something really special with it. And then all I need to do is take my little 3.5 millimeter jack, take my H1, which I picked up on eBay for $50, and I'm done. I can record now a wireless kind of boom operation setup and just sync it all up later in the DSLR space. And that's what really kind of makes DSLR filmmaking different than mobile. It's all of those kinds of fun options that now we start to play with the concept of maybe sound is recorded separate from the camera, or maybe the camera audio is then worked together with other devices because those microphones play with more devices than just my camera.
Okay. Can we also take questions while we are?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's totally.
Okay. So probably it is a little early, but this one question which I thought was relevant has come up. How can we manage to hide the big and bulky microphones while shooting the short films and in a wide angle view? So which means, how will you hide a microphone in a wide angle shot?
Absolutely. So you can see right behind me is one of those big bulky microphones. That's my blimp that is massive. It's maybe about half a meter in length. And on my big giant pole, this is about a 4-meter pole. So I can get it very close to talent, but on a wide angle shot, that means I'm deep in my shot. I'm in the frame. So there's two methods, okay? I'm going to show you one that's free, and then I'll give you one that costs a little bit of money. Okay, so the free one first. The first thing you can do, just remove it. Just don't even put it out there in the frame. Let people talk. Don't try to capture their audio. Don't even worry about it. Then, you do your wide angle shot. Everything looks good in the wide angle. You go for your close-up. And in your close-up, you have the actor or actress say every single word they said in the wide shot over again. And what you're going to do in post-production is you're going to take the audio out of their mouth from the close-up and you're going to put it right back in their mouth in the wide shot. And because you're ultra-wide, no one can tell if the mouth is moving exactly perfect to the way the mouth is moving in the close-up. And then when you cut right into your close-up, the mouth is just going to look perfect and the lips are going to be moving and it's going to be a seamless edit right into your close-up. So that's the free option, okay? So use your ultra-wide. Don't care too much about audio. Maybe capture reference. So when you're in post, you know exactly where the mouth is open, when it's closed, and that kind of deal. But take the audio out of the close-up. Now let's talk about the option that costs money. If you want perfect audio, put your boom pole in the shot. And then what you're going to do is either you're probably going to have a moving shot, not probably a tripod stationary shot. If you have a stationary shot, put the pole in, do the scene, pull the pole out at the last second, and you'll have a blank frame that you can then trace with the rotoscoping or your select tool in Photoshop. Pull that frame out, put it over on your second layer, and just stretch it over the whole video, right? So you can do that. But if you need to spend a little bit more money than just what Photoshop and Premiere can give you, if you need something like After Effects, there's a rotoscoping tool that lets you highlight something and it will digitally erase it in the video and replace it with what's actually behind it. And it'll sample 5 frames ahead, 5 frames behind, and it'll sample what those pixels were supposed to be and recreate the backdrop and then just erase the boom altogether. And it costs a little bit of extra money because you have to get this program called After Effects. You can't just get away with the cheapest bundle. You may have to spend a little bit more with Adobe, but that's actually a really good way to do it. Or you could just do it the first way, which is free, which is how Hollywood's been doing it for ages.
Absolutely. Oh, that's actually true education. This is something which people teach you in a film school.
Absolutely.
So this, very, very, and very clever. Very, very, very important understanding, which a photographer upgrading himself to a filmmaker don't immediately get. So thank you, Andrew, for talking about it. So Well, moving on, what are the solutions that are currently available using which, of course, you talked about one free solution and the one which is like a boom pole, which is basically extending a very high quality microphone close to the talent. Mm-hmm. What are the other options? Suppose if it's, you're only recording reference audio, or no, I don't want only a reference audio. I want to really record the talent.
I got you.
And yeah, sure.
Ooh.
Okay.
Wireless microphones are your friends. Okay. At the end of the day, a wireless microphone can save you a lot of hassle. So if you're ready to step up from just using one microphone on your film set and you're ready to add wireless, that's also a great opportunity. When you're in your ultra wide shot, the actor could be really far away, could be 20 meters away from the camera. And 20 meters is you're not going to get that on this. You're not going to get close to it by putting a microphone on top of your camera. You're not going to hear the actor at 20 meters. But a wireless microphone, you'll get the exact audio the moment they speak it. And a good wireless system is such a critical tool to have. I don't think everyone needs them. You don't absolutely need to buy wireless. There's always a free technique that will get you around wireless, because remember, Hollywood was shooting, movies for 80 years before wireless microphones even showed up that were good enough to be used in movies, right? They were doing everything with the boom. But now we have this luxury of getting the exact audio, not just reference, but the exact audio in a wide shot. And that's where wireless comes in. We often think of we have to mic up everyone on a film set. Well, you really only need to mic up the people that are talking in the wide shots. And a wireless microphone set, so that's a really good way of getting started. I don't think you need to go out and buy 8 wireless microphones for every single actor on your film. Just buy 1 or 2 to start with and only use them in your wide shots. It's a wonderful way to really just get started and not worry about, buying stuff that you really don't need day in, day out.
Thank you. Someone seems to have paid $2 to Pixel Village. He's got those on top question. Well, of course, like I said, we are not here to, sell anything, but he has these questions because he thought he put in some money. Maybe I thought it's only, he may want an answer for that question. What makes people pick D3 or D3 Pro over comparison?
Over competitors.
Sorry, competition. Yeah.
So what I think we do different than what our competitors do is we made our microphones sound different. And I think that's the first and foremost thing that we did. The other thing we did is we gave them different ergonomics. You may have seen an earlier model from a different company that the microphone looks similar. It may have all this connected. It may not have some extra features. But to us, microphones are microphones. So you'll notice the first thing I just did is I took the shock mount and I got rid of that. And I took this cord and I got rid of that too, because I can get a better cord. I can get a longer cord, whatever. And maybe this foam, this is okay. Maybe it's not okay. Maybe I want new foam, any kind of foam. So I just developed a microphone at the end of the day. That's all it is. And that's what really made us different when we came out on the market was we developed a microphone first and just said, cool, I guess it's for cameras, because we gave it a 3.5 millimeter jack. And that's really kind of what made this microphone kind of be our standout star, and how it was different, because everyone else developed a video microphone for cameras and they said, this goes on a camera. And if you don't want to use it on a camera, tough cookies, you got to go buy this even more expensive microphone. And to us, we were like, why does it got to live on a camera? Why can't it just be a microphone in any situation you want to use it? So right now, I don't have it in the shock mount. I could put this on this shock mount if I really wanted to. I could put it in my blimp if I really wanted to, because it's just a microphone. If I wanted to get a much longer cable than this one, you just buy a longer cable and you plug it in. Some of our competitors, the cables are soldered to the microphone, and when it breaks, well, I mean, you're out of luck. To us, it's cool, the cable broke. Get another cable.
So I hope you got your answer there. So talking about, film sets, not all films are shot indoors. Films are shot outdoors, which means you need to worry about ambient noise, ambient sound, hiss, wind. I mean, how do you solve them? Wind noise first, and then what about the background noise?
So let's talk about wind noise first, like you said. So what I've got right here is our brand new D4 Duo microphone coming, and it immediately comes with a little windscreen that goes right onto the microphone, actually the front and the back. So it kind of looks just like that blimp, but just like a little baby version of this blimp. And this is what's really going to help you with wind, first and foremost, is fur. If you can get some kind of fake fur at the market and put it over a piece of foam, that immediately is going to cut down a lot of wind. So you can do this yourself. If you can sew, or you know someone that can sew and has some scissors, you could cut out a piece of fur and you can actually make something that slides over the foam that came with your microphone, and immediately you're going to get protection from wind. So it's a wonderful kind of thing that you can do, that anyone who just has a couple of, needle threads, some fur laying around, immediately can start working on. What you're going to want, though, is a piece of fur that doesn't have backing material, because otherwise it gets too cloudy and you don't hear the sound. The sound doesn't transfer to the microphone. So that's how you handle wind. Now let's talk about the other important part. You're shooting outdoors, you got crowds, you got cars, you got traffic, you got a market over there that's being incredibly loud that won't shut up. You got a police officer with his siren, and yet all you want to do is listen to your actor talk and deliver those lines. The best thing you can do is take that shotgun microphone. It's important that you use a shotgun microphone when you're doing video. To know what a shotgun microphone is, for people out there that don't realize this, it's the microphone with the long kind of a fish gill on the side of it. It's kind of got the fish gills along the side of it. That's going to be a more directional pointed shotgun. So if I point this at someone, I hear that person. If I point it at that person, I hear that person. So that's what you really want to use, is a shotgun microphone. You do not want to use a cardioid microphone or an omnidirectional microphone. Those kinds of microphones, you'll hear all of the background stuff. So you're going to use this microphone and you're going to place it 8 inches. So for you guys in the metric system, that's like whatever that is in metric. And you're going to place it
multiplied by 2.54.
2.54, so 18 centimeters.
Yeah.
And you're going to drop that right there above their head. And you're going to pull it just a little bit in front, so you're pointed right at their mouth. And that is the best thing you can do. And that's going to give you the best directionality to pick up that actor. And when you're ready for the next actor to talk, you literally move the microphone back and forth, back and forth. And that's going to give you the cleanest audio when you're outdoors.
Great. Thank you. One more question before we move on is,
Absolutely.
I make YouTube videos. Now I want to buy a mic. Till now, I'm recording from using the inbuilt microphone. I want to buy a mic from which I can sing also. Meaning he also wants to sing. Probably he's a singer. He wants to make music-related YouTube videos. So he wants to make videos, also use that to sing, record his singing, I'm assuming.
Absolutely. So he says, should he buy a DD microphones? Well, funny enough, on an episode I just shot earlier today with my partner, DD Steve, we actually talked about a microphone that's kind of a one-trick pony that can do a lot of different tasks. And we think the answer kind of lies in this one right here. And I'll grab my other one for demo reference. I'll pop this guy out. It's a very short shotgun. So it's called the S-Mic 2S, which is kind of our cinema series. So it's a very good quality microphone that we like, but you'll notice it doesn't have many vents as the other ones. So it actually works really well for people who are trying to capture the room. They're trying to sing, they're trying to do that kind of stuff. We've used this on instruments like string instruments, percussion instruments, brass instruments, and it sounds really, really good. The SPL, if you're a singer that gets really loud and kind of belts their music and really kind of projects with their whole body when they're singing, this microphone is going to handle the volume of your voice perfectly fine. And in terms of YouTube videos, because I told you earlier, when you're doing video production, you should always use a shotgun microphone. It's a really ideal situation for that. And as you can see here, as I'm doing a live stream and just guesting on this podcast, I'm using it here on a stand, much like I would if I was doing something like a radio show. So it really works as a nice versatile microphone. It's not too long, it's not too short. It's a nice in-between, kind of everything kind of microphone.
Thank you. Well, in photography terms, we have two kinds of images. We have our raw image, and we also have compressed images like JPEGs and TIFFs and all those formats. Do you have an equivalent in audio? Do you have an uncompressed audio and a compressed audio? If it is there, which are there different formats available?
Oh, absolutely. It's actually one of the things that you, as a person who does video, really needs to think about the whole process. So let's start in Photoshop first. We shoot our raw file as we do, right, with our camera. We shoot raw. We don't shoot JPEG, right? We're better than that. We can shoot raw. We take our raw file into Photoshop. Photoshop allows us to kind of manipulate our raw, but then it brings it into a project file. It hasn't quite made it a JPEG. It's still editable. We can add to it. We can push and pull colors, dodge and burn, all the beautiful things that Photoshop allows us to do. And when it's ready to deliver to client, then we kick out a JPEG, right? At the very last minute, we go, here's a JPEG for you and your wedding photos, and you can post this on your social media and print them out for your family. Here's the JPEG. And we still keep the raw, and we still keep the PowerPoint presentations. Audio is very much the same way. So you take your audio in. So let's actually take this guy right here, and let's see if I can power this guy on. And of course not. But nevertheless, so you take your audio recorder, and it will allow you to record multiple formats, okay? So in RAW, you guys have RAW, you have TIFF, you have PNG, you have all these different formats. For us, in audio, it's all .wav. It's all WAV. It's only one file type, but what kind of WAV is actually now what's critical. What's behind the file type? And that could be 16-bit, 24-bit, or 32-bit audio. So that's kind of your starting point. And then what kilohertz? How did it sample that waveform? How many dots did it do as it tries to measure the waveform, right? So you can do like 44.1, which is like a CD. So when you download an MP3, it's probably 16-bit 44.1. That's music. It's not bad. It sounds like the musician. It sounds like the instrument. It sounds very good. But if you're an editor and you're trying to create the stuff and then kick it out the last minute, you want to work on one level at least above, right? So what we want to do as filmmakers is we want to edit in 24-bit 48 kilohertz instead of 16-bit 44.1, which was literally one step above music. So this is standard video format. And that's also now become the standard for things like Blu-ray, and that's just the standard for Blu-ray. Blu-ray is mastered slightly above that. So if you can record slightly above that, that's fine. Not needed though, but right now that's the best you can deliver is Blu-ray, and it's just the exact as the RAW is. So it's kind of delivering raw audio right to the customer, and then their sound system or their movie theater just sounds amazing. But at the last minute, you want to export 44.1 16-bit.
Okay. Before, so you talked about post-processing. You talk about shooting raw and subsequently working with those images. What happens if there are noises, even with all the care that you take while recording audio on location? You still happen to have a lot of unwanted noise coming into your audio. You think it can be worked like we correct overexposure, we correct, we do photoshopping, we can try to remove stuff from the scene. Can I selectively remove disturbances or unwanted audio elements from my soundtrack or an audio track?
Absolutely. And I'm pulling up something right now, and this is for everyone to see. So what I've got here on my auxiliary screen that we can pull up is a little free program that everyone should go download today. What this program is called Audacity. Audacity. It's called Audacity, and it's free. And it'll work on Linux. It'll work on your Windows machine. It will work on Macintosh. So it doesn't matter what computer you have at home. This will run on a Raspberry Pi. So even if you have a cheap computer, right, there's no reason not to have Audacity. And what Audacity will allow you to do is it's a free plugin built into Audacity called noise removal. So even if you're not on, Adobe, if you're not on Avid, not on DaVinci, let's say you're using some free software to edit your movies, this could edit your audio and you bring it back in to your video editor. And what you can do is you can see exactly what they've done here. is they've highlighted the noise. So here's, someone's voice right here, and you'll see all this hissing noise on the waveform. You kind of see it looks like some rumbling. So what they've done is they've highlighted it, they've gone to their effects tab, they've selected noise removal. So now what they've got to do is they're going to bring up this window, and I'll just open it up in my next tab, bring it open. And what it does is it says get noise profile. What this does is it takes that highlighted section, it creates a profile of it. It goes, this is what your noise is. And you're like, yes, this is what I want you to remove. It goes, cool. You open it up again and you tell it how much you want to reduce that noise. And you reduce it, you hit OK, and it does all of the audio work for you. It's an amazing program that's totally free. The software really does work. Now, this isn't going to fix like super complicated noises. This is going to fix like if you forgot to turn off the air conditioner, or you forgot to turn off some kind of rattling noise in the background. It's not super duper dominant. It's just background kind of hiss. This will take care of that, no problem. So there's absolutely no reason for hiss anymore in anyone's videos. You guys got a free tool from me to you.
Very interesting and very useful tip, Audacity, because people, especially in India, we really worry about, paying at every point. If software is expensive, then it becomes an issue. You can also control background noise by adjusting gain, right? And controlling decibel levels. Can you explain? Absolutely. I've seen those stuff on this. I'm using a D3 Pro. I set it up not because I'm an expert. I used a lot of trial and error, and I kind of came to a decent setting. But I see two controls on this. One is a decibel setting, and the other one is a gain control. How does it affect my audio? Or can it also, multiple questions in one, can it also reduce my background noise by adjusting my gain?
So it's important to know kind of what our background noise is. So the pickup pattern itself is actually going to reduce background noise that we can actually hear in the room. So if I've got an air conditioner in the corner, putting this microphone 90 degrees, or so if I put an air conditioner right 90 degrees to this microphone, it's going to reject the air conditioner. If I put it to 120 degrees from the front, 120 degrees, it's going to reject that noise even better. So that's the first thing you can do is good mic placement goes a long way. I can talk about software all day, and you can talk about expensive software, free software. It doesn't really matter. If you put this a good microphone in the right position, you don't even have to worry about software to begin with. So that's a free tip right there that I think everyone can start doing, is really thinking about, if I've got a bad noise I don't want to hear, put it in that 90 to 120 degree back part of a microphone, and you're going to get really good audio. The next thing you can do, and this is, again, thinking about the noise that you're hearing in the background. Is it electronic noise? Is it from something like a bad preamplifier? So if you're going into a camera, right? We're talking about DSLR and mirrorless cameras today. A lot of people are going to be taking a microphone and putting it on top of their camera and then sending a signal from the microphone into their DSLR. DSLRs are notorious for not having the most amazing sounding circuitry, right? They often have a noisy circuitry. So the noise you may be hearing in your video may be that circuitry. So what you can do, and this is what we were talking about earlier, is so we put a gain knob on this microphone. So I'm going to just pick this throw all the way up there. You can actually see there's a knob here in the back of this microphone that allows you to add volume to the microphone before it goes into your camera. So what I like to do is tell people to set this knob to 6. And then what it will allow me to do is send that from here into my camera. And that's a hot signal. Now, if I've got a hot signal coming out of my microphone into my camera, what does the camera have to do? We have to reduce the gain in the camera to compensate for the hotter signal that we're actually sending it, because the camera doesn't need to boost it itself because it's already been pre-boosted in a much quieter, cleaner, device, a proper microphone. And if you do it that way, you can avoid the noise and the hiss of the circuitry. And that's probably one of the best tips I can tell you. It doesn't matter if you buy our brand, if you buy another person's brand, you'll often see it as just a basic toggle switch, a plus 10 dB, a plus 20 dB. set it to +10, and that'll get you at least started. For us, it's a veritable gain knob, so you can actually dial it in exactly as you need for the moment and get the best audio quality possible. But a toggle switch, it's fine.
In fact, that was my next question, which I wanted to kind of bring to the screen. Pranav Bhave asking, what is the most important advantage of having a stepless gain knob on a mic itself?
So
you
what
just
that
said
is,
that. You just answered it. Yeah.
It's exactly that. So imagine, okay, I've got two recorders in front of me, right? This one has low cut on and off. So this little recorder, it can do on or off. Okay. But is it low cutting the frequencies that I want it to cut? Or if I need it more, how do I get it there? Or is it cutting too many frequencies and I don't want it to cut? Well, with a toggle switch, you're very limited. And for some people, this may work exactly what they need. But for a lot of people, it's like, no, it's better than nothing, I guess. But with a variable gain knob, why this is such a revolution in on-camera microphones is some cameras are hotter than others. Some don't boost as high as others. But this microphone doesn't care. And more importantly, every situation you put in front of your camera, the actor, the actress, they could be 1 meter in front of your camera. Cool. Well, dial that down because they're not too far away from me. Let's say they're now 2 meters far away from me, right? So we go inverse square law, back to lighting, right? You move a light or a strobe light, double the distance from your subject matter that you're lighting. What happens to the strobe? It cuts in 1/4, right? So as you light a subject matter by moving the light to and back and forth, if you move an actor or actress from the microphone, they go down in volume. Well, I can make up for that loss with this gain knob. And I can make up for it exactly as much as I need to, no more, no less. That's why we like the variable gain knob.
Thank you very much. This question, I'd like to rephrase it in my way. Is saying how to connect a microphone to DSLR cameras, obviously through a connecting port. But my question is, there are multiple types of connecting ports that I have seen. Not every time the jack that you get works with the camera. Now, the one which I recently used, the XT4, the Fuji XT4, comes with a USB as an audio input port. There was another camera, my Mac, the MacBook Pro, from which I am now doing live stream, takes in a jack which is of a different type. It's called multiple, joints. I hear that it's called TRRS connections, and there is another one called TRS. What are they? One, and are there any definite advantage of, let's say, using a USB as an audio input port, using, let's say, a converter like this?
Yeah, so let's talk about this. So let's talk about the USB port first. So what that's actually doing is it's changing pin number 4 in the TRRS jack to a certain pin somewhere on the USB connector that probably the mobile that adapter is used with wants. So it's already kind of figured out exactly where it's going to put this audio, and it just moves it, and the phone knows that port. If I receive anything in there, it's an analog microphone signal. And that's really the biggest thing when you talk about inputs is it line level or mic level? And I think this is where it confuses a lot of people because the same jacks are used for both. So let's take a look at something like this guy. You'll notice the H1 again, this is my classic recorder, it has both going into the exact same jack, which means this thing can do either one, and it just automatically knows, oh, you sent me a line level, which is a full 1 volt signal, or you sent me a mic level, which could be a whole host of different kind of voltages, but we can definitely get into that later. So that is kind of the big option there. Now let's talk about TRS to TRRS and what's the difference. So I've got 2 different jacks right here. Let me put them right up in front of the camera. You'll notice one has like 4 pins. You could call them pins. And one's got 3 pins. So what that is one is TRRS or tip ring sleeve. And one is TRRS, which is tip ring sleeve. So what that is pins 1, 2, 3, or pins 1, 2, 3, 4. What are the benefits? What's the downside? Why are there two separate things and they look identical? Well, it's pretty simple. So TRS has been around for a very, very long time, and it does a pretty good job. But as devices have gotten smaller, and as we're trying to cram more and more into different ports so they can do more things, we invented the TRRS jack, so we can actually do other things on this. So let's go back to the mobile phone situation real fast. If I were to plug this into a mobile phone, the tip and the first ring is actually headphones out. It's not coming into the camera, it's actually going out. And then the third pin is actually the common ground. And then pin number 4 is actually a single channel of microphone signal coming back into the device. So that allows us to take things like our earbuds with a little microphone, plug it right into a mobile phone, and we can hear and talk all down one cable, one connector into the mobile. So as soon as we realize what that means, when we look at a device like this, well, when we plug in this cable right into the side of it, you would think immediately the audio is not on the right pin, but it really depends on what you are sourcing it with. So one of the things that makes our microphones unique and special was they automatically adapt. So they don't care if you were using a TRRS or a TRS, or you're plugging it into some other kind of device that really doesn't have the audio set up in a standard way. We adapt automatically to that. So you don't have to worry about a lot of those kinds of things. So when we look at things like cameras, they have different kind of audio inputs. And if we're trying to get multiple things into these audio inputs, we need to do something like what I've brought over here on my other screen. So if we can bring this up, I'll show you what's going on here. And that is this little bitty audio camera mixer that goes on top of your DSLR. What this allows is, this allows something to go into the left channel of the DSLR or into the right channel of the DSLR. This gives us a little kind of knob to adjust the volume of the left, and then adjust the volume of the right. And then it has a TRS jack 3.5 that you would send this out of the mixer into the DSLR. So that way you can bring in multiple sources. Like if you want to bring a wireless system or 2 different microphones, you can bring them both into your DSLR at the same time. So this is actually the really cheap model that they make. This is like $89. They do make, and let's go back. I'll go one more screen back. Let me bring this up. I'm on Beach Tech's website. Everyone's on the website right now. You guys are watching. So let's bring this over to the one step up above this device. And what makes this device a little bit different, let me go over to the gallery mode. As you can see, we now are dealing with a lot bit coming on here. So what this allows is, if we were to get really up and close, we now have things like gain, high or low. We have phantom power. We have XLR jacks now on the side. XLR allows us to plug in the more professional microphones into a basic DSLR. So again, these little tools allow you to expand what your DSLR potentially could possibly have. You don't have to worry about using 3.5 millimeter TRS, the TRS, the TRRS, all those kinds of craziness. You can go straight to XLR and be just like the big boys and plug in big giant professional microphones into your DSLR, into your mirrorless camera, and really allow you to kind of play with some options that really kind of allow you to get even better audio than any DSLR should ever be allowed to get.
Hey, thank you, Andrew. That is really detailed. Questions are coming one after the other. So I thought, Raj Chandu, he's a wedding videographer. He's asking, I can shoot, but I haven't used any kind of microphone. Please tell me, what would you suggest if I have to use a microphone and record an audio? So it's a very basic question, because the reason why I brought this up is majority people don't even know that they need to have an audio device to, get good quality audio in.
The first thing I would suggest is use an external microphone. You got to get that microphone outside the camera body, on top of the camera body. That's the number one tool you could do. So Raj, if you are filming the groom and he's with his boys and he is about to do the parade, or he is, I believe, I've shot so many Indian weddings. I'm trying to remember some of the rituals off the top of my head. The giving of the gifts. Okay, so like when one family is meeting another family and you're filming this with a microphone, if you're in front of one family and they've got the gifts and they're bringing them over, you can now hear what they're saying, all their chanting, their singing, their songs, all the beautifulness that's going on in the moment now is being captured. And not being captured is all the little motors in your lens trying to focus. Your hands fiddling with the camera. None of that's being recorded because the external microphone is living in a shock mount that's separate from the camera body. So that's one thing I can totally suggest. If all you do, Raj, is go tomorrow and just buy an external microphone that has a decent shock mount. It's the number one thing you can do right now because you're missing half the wedding. I mean, an Indian wedding has so much great music going on. There's so many, exciting things going on, and visually you're capturing them. But you're losing all that energy and that wonderful thing that happens. You go and you talk to the grandmothers. You sit down and you say, "Hey, can you tell me a story about when the bride was born and all this stuff?" And she's telling you the story of when her granddaughter was born. But you're not capturing it because you're using the on-camera built-in microphone, and all it's picking up is your fingers holding the camera, and that's a real loss. And I think that's something that you should immediately think about is getting a microphone up off the camera. And then, once you get comfortable using microphones, start to explore what microphones you think would actually work best for you. For wedding shooters, again, the microphone we're giving away for the Lucky Dip is the Deity D3 Pro. We developed that for the wedding market because of how fast weddings are. It's very hard for you to flip a switch and try to figure out what's best and go in the menus and all that stuff. Turning that knob, perfect. You can do that really quick on the fly live, get the results you want, and keep shooting the wedding.
Yeah. I want to ask Deity, can I get a second one for conducting this show? I'm just joking. So Sriram, he's one Pixel Village, subscriber, and he's also a student with us. He's asking, is D3 or D3 Pro, which is better in terms of technical terms and its capacity?
Absolutely. We get this question all the time. People ask us all the time, between the two microphones, Andrew, what's your favorite? And I'm like, D3 and D3 Pro use both the exact same audio capsule, which is very important to a lot of people out there. If they like the sound quality that a brand puts into their microphones, it's important to know that even price-wise, doesn't matter which one you buy, they will sound nearly identical. For a lot of people, I think they like the D3 more because it gives you over 208 hours of battery life, which is a long time for a lot of users. For some people, they don't care about battery life. They're like, I'll just charge it overnight. I'm already charging my cell phone. Why not just charge something else? It's not a big deal. And this one will give you 51 hours of battery life in the Pro column. But what the big difference is that variable gain knob. If you're someone who does a lot of filming and you're moving fast and you don't want to dive into your menu, right? A lot of mirrorless cameras, a lot of DSLRs are menu-driven cameras, especially when it comes to the video filmmaking aspects of the camera. Those cameras aren't really meant to be video cameras. They were kind of a second thought. They're meant to be photography cameras first and foremost. So all the buttons on the outside are photography buttons. None of them are for filmmaking except for the record button. And absolutely, there's never going to be an audio button on a DSLR. So you're kind of stuck. So when you look at what the difference is between the Pro and the non-Pro, we give you those buttons back on your microphone. We give you a low cut. We give you the variable gain knob. We allow you to kind of interact with your audio on the fly and touch it and not just have to stop. Tell people, you know what, hey, I need you to stop doing what you're doing. I need to get into my menu real fast. Can you guys stop the wedding real fast? And you sit there and you're fiddling with your menus and they're all sitting around going, no, we're trying to have a wedding here. We're trying to move. We're trying to have excitement and you don't want to miss all that. So that's the big thing. So if you are someone who makes your living off of your filming, the D3 Pro is just for that. It's for the professional. It's for the person who is trying to earn money and really needs equipment that's going to help them earn that money. The D3 is for the person who just wants better video. Maybe they're a YouTuber. Maybe they're just trying to get started in the world and they don't know quite much about microphones. It's going to work. It's going to sound really good. It's going to get you started.
Hey, thank you, Andrew.
Of course.
One question, lots of talking about YouTubers. YouTubers also, they do vlogging. They also do interviews. They also do a lot of live stuff in which, in many situations, the cable can be limiting, for audio. Well, we talked about a lot of audio devices, and you talked about the S2, the D3 Pro. Can you show us some of your wireless toys?
Absolutely. Let me show you something real fast. This is our body pack transmitter. And what you can see is exactly how big it is in my hand. It's not very big at all. But what makes this wireless device, unlike any wireless system that you've probably ever seen, is the receiver right here actually goes on top of your camera. It's actually meant for cameras. It goes right on top. Goes on the back. So when you're looking at your LCD screen on your camera, you're actually looking at the LCD screen of the wireless system. It's a very unique, different kind of ergonomic system for a camera operator. But every single setting in this transmitter, and I mean almost anything related to audio, can be remote controlled from the receiver. So once I put this on a bride, once I put this on the groom, once I put this on the actor or actress, if I need to make any adjustments during the filming, during the day, I make those adjustments from the receiver. Because I should never have to go and stop down in a situation, walk up to someone and go, hey, I need to kind of fiddle with some settings real fast. And now you're stopping down the whole day. Now you're kind of making everything come to a halt and everyone's waiting on you. And we didn't want that to happen. Again, everything we've developed is so that no one's waiting on you to do your job. You're ready to go. So when we do our wireless system, it's just a very different kind of wireless system that you've never seen before. Because you may have seen something that's slightly remote control access. You may be able to control things like gain or something like that, but you've never had full remote control from the receiver on the go, portably from your camera.
Okay. And you showed the transmitter and the receiver. Where's the pickup? Is there a lapel, or can I connect any mic to that?
Yeah, so you would just normally use like a normal lapel microphone. You would use just a basic lavalier, and that's kind of what it looks like. Let me go right there. There you go. Now you can see it. Black microphone on a black shirt. And you plug it right in. You'd plug this guy and you put this right on someone's pants or, underneath. And you'd put that microphone right here, right there on the center of their chest, just slightly above. So you have the sternum. I'd put it dead center of the sternum right there. So it's not too much up underneath the chin and it's not too far down on the belly, so where it's not too far away from the mouth. And when you put a microphone right there, it's going to have this beautiful resonant frequency of the full voice, because a human doesn't just create, the words they speak out of just their mouth. They create it out of the whole chest cavity, and a lavalier placed right there on the upper part of the chest is going to capture all that beautifully.
Okay. Andrew, please stay there. I'd like to quickly have a word about Pixel Village to our audience. If you can please stay there. Thank you. Pixel Village, as you know, is an online photography education portal. And we started as a YouTube channel, but now subsequently developed into an online photography education portal. I'd like to show you a glimpse of what we do at Pixel Village.
How I go and shoot a wedding?
You want to create something in the world, you have to come out of the condition.
I am a lifestyle photographer based out of New Delhi.
पिक्सल विलेज का जो अप्रोच है वो जरा अलग है.
That's right. That's what this Pixel Village is all about. Pixel Village, the website looks like this. You can go sign into www.pixelvillage.com, and we have classes conducted by some really, really senior and very talented photo mentors. And they are these people here right in front of you. These classes are available in multiple languages besides Hindi and English. And you can go to the courses. There are lots of free sessions available there. And there are some of them are premium content, so for which there's a small fee. You can click on, this is Tamil, for example, Tamil fashion lighting online course in Tamil. And this is a good, what's the duration? It's about 1 hour, 2 minute, session. And it is conducted by Prasanna Venkatesh. You can subscribe to Pixel Village and watch these classes. We also have an app. I will copy and paste the link to download an Android app here onto the to our comments column, so you can also use the app. And in the evening today, we're going to have one of our mentors talking to you about empathy in photography. Please attend this. This is not very. It's not exactly technique alone. It's about a lot of other things besides that goes in, besides technique, that goes into making interesting image. So please listen to Neeta Shankar in the evening at 5 o'clock at the same place in Pixel Village, and I'll hope to meet you all there. Okay, now Andrew is back. Thanks, Andrew, for that. That's time, because I thought I'll interact with them and tell them what Pixel Village do in the field of photography education. Okay, so there's one question. This is software related. Mm-hmm. He's asking, Michael Jacobs is asking, do Audacity and Adobe Audition do the same thing?
Yeah. For the most part, for what the average person would recognize, the answer is yes. The big difference between Adobe Audition and Audacity is Adobe Audition can do a whole lot more. And if you're really going down the route of getting really heavy into audio post-production and software and all that stuff, Adobe Audition is going to be a better bet long term. If you're just getting started, Audacity is free. Download it tomorrow, because I told you guys, remember, download it. And you're just going to get started, and it's going to do exactly what the same thing Audacity, Audacity is going to do the same thing that Audition would do for most people most of the time. But for that niche few that need all the extra power that Audition has, it's there for you. It's also easier to work and round trip your audio. Getting it out of Premiere into Audition, back out of Audition, back into Premiere. It's going to round trip it a lot better. It's kind of like, when you're in Photoshop and you're trying to go in the Lightroom and Lightroom back into Photoshop, same kind of deal. You work in that Adobe ecosystem and it just works really well. Not as easy to do that with Audacity. You have to export your audio, bring it in, work on it, export it again, and import it back in and drop it back into your timeline. It's a couple of extra steps. But for a lot of people, it's worth it because it's free software and it's really powerful. Thank you.
This is very important. I also had this same doubt. If you're in a noisy environment, to reduce recording or to control the background noise, you reduce the gain. Now, thereby, you will also drop the audio level of the recording. Mm-hmm. Now, what do you do when you in post production? When I lift the gain up or try to amplify the audio, will the background noise also get amplified?
Yes, it will. Maybe. It really depends on the way you add the gain. What you could do, and the way I would do it, is I would not just add I wouldn't just add gain. What I would do is actually run something called a compressor.
Okay.
That way it's only adding gain to your peaks. So it's not going to add gain too much to the self noise kind of background hum of the ambience around you when you're recording. The second thing I immediately would do is then add a noise gate. And that's really going to just immediately cut it off anything that's below that frequencies. So I've got just kind of the background noise when my voice has been boosted, but when no one is talking, there's nothing there. And then once I add in kind of the background music I want, it sounds perfect.
Thank you. Very interesting, a unique question. Hemalata Saini is asking, this is to record insects video. I mean, I'm assuming that she's trying to do macro photography or things that is flying around in the room, you know, which is the right solution for such scenario to record the audio.
So you can know how to freeze the wings. You do a high shutter speed, a really fast strobe, and it'll freeze it like a photograph. What she's wanting to do is capture these micro little sounds with audio.
Yeah.
One of the best ways you can do this when you're trying to capture those real small little sounds and then kind of make them feel bigger is to oversample them. And what we were talking about earlier when we were talking about sample rates, 16-bit 44.1, which was CD quality. Then we had Blu-ray quality, which is the same as we edit in. When you want to oversample, now we're talking like 24-bit 96 kilohertz, and then what we've got there is now twice the fidelity of anything possible. So if you want to slow it down, speed it up, really kind of build it, there's way more to build there in terms of data. It's like shooting a better raw format, but also shooting it neutral. You know what I mean? So it really allows you to kind of just have the ability to push and pull that audio even more when you oversample your audio. And the best time to do that is when you're trying to do things like that, that's sound effects, and they're little bitty small noises.
But do you need to process every sound that you record? Is it necessary at all?
No. And in fact, a lot of people out there in the world will probably not process their audio at all. Most YouTube videos you're watching, most are not processed. Now, the big YouTubers, the full-time YouTubers, the people that, that's what they try to do is they are trying to be, a professional channel. They're going to do that. So first and foremost, let's try to talk about that. If that's what you want to do, know that that's the route you're eventually going to get to. It's like saying, do all professionals who shoot weddings, do they shoot JPEGs? Or do they shoot RAW? Well, they're probably, when you start out, you're probably shooting JPEGs because it's what you're used to. You've never shot the RAW format. It's unfamiliar territory to you. But eventually you get there. Same thing with audio. When you get more familiar with audio and audio editing and the plugins and all the different kinds of ways you can manipulate audio, it becomes like second nature. And the first thing I can tell you now is if you're going to do this and kind of do it on a regular basis for like a content creator who puts out a lot of videos very, very frequently and doesn't have the time to do the processing for audio recording, save your presets. Just like you may have a preset look that you like to drop on your photos, you can do that with an EQ, save it in your editor, put a little star next to it, drag it over to your effects bin and rename it favorite EQ. And then when you go to do another recording, you just drag it, drop, and you're done. That's really easy. I mean, that's not even processing at that point. It's just like dropping on a color correction filter.
Okay. Yes, I hope you got your answer there. Joel Mark JMJ asking, how can you record audio from of animals long distance? The animal is very far away, and you can't obviously go close for reasons, because they are dangerous animals. So how can you record audio from a distance?
Absolutely. And one of the best things you can do is, I've got this right here, and this is called a parabolic microphone. So I'm going to bring this up so everyone can see it. So if you are watching it on your mobile, you can not have to like pinch and zoom all that stuff. You've got it right here. And this is a microphone. It's got a shock mount, just a rod. It's a gigantic parabolic dish. something that you may use the eat out of, like a serving platter that you may put like a bunch of food on when you have a bunch of friends over. That same curved shape can collect sound and then reflect it. And what this dish is doing is it's taking audio that's coming in, hitting the dish, and reflecting it right back in all directions into the center of that dish to where that microphone has been placed. Right there in the
Can I use the D3
curve.
Pro for this?
You could. You could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What a lot of people use is omnidirectional lavaliers, though. So let me go back over here, and I can probably pull in. Oh, here's one that actually explains everything. You can just Google this stuff, too. It's called a parabolic microphone. And what's really good, and this is the video, this is the photo I really wanted to pull up, was this guy. As you can see, he made his own. And you can do this. You can, this is a trash can lid. This is a piece of wood. This is just a little microphone he has got taped in there that's going right here into the camera. And you can do this at home yourself too. So if you want to play with it, get yourself a basic lavalier, or if you're pretty crafty, you can get yourself an electric condenser microphone for just a few dollars and solder it yourself. And take this little guy, put it right there in the middle of a trash can lid, and just start pointing it at the wildlife. And you can hear 50 meters away, no problem.
Okay. Thank you very much. I think that's been really, you actually detailed it, and I'm really happy about this session, the way it turned out. Maybe, Deity, if you guys are listening, okay, we already have a winner. Wonderful. The winner, let me put the name. I don't remember what the question was. Hopefully they will allow us to, Deity will give us the, let me put the name on the screen. There it is. Okay. So, Sriram Rajesh is the man who won today's, the lucky prize. Yeah, absolutely. You won this amazing, this one. Let me bring it up.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's the one. So, Sriram Rajesh, you have won this amazing Deity D3 Pro. The mic, Andrew was talking about. You won it absolutely free. What you have to, all you have to do is to, what is that he has to do? He has to send a message. We will give you the mail ID. You need to send a mail to them from the same name. And then Deity will get in touch with you, and then they will take it forward, and they'll make sure that the microphone is reached your place. Wonderful.
Yeah.
So okay. So here is this. Let me just add that. Let me give me a second.
Yeah, there's so many good questions I'm seeing in the chat. You guys are really doing wonderful, guys.
And there it is. So that's the marketing.in@deitymic.com. So Sriram Rajesh, please pick that ID from the comments and start communicating with Deity India. All right, Deity microphones are currently are available in India now, so you can look up their website. Wonderful. Please. Oh, there are more questions coming in. You think we can take one more question?
I can take all the questions. I'm not going anywhere. I'm chugging caffeine like crazy.
All right. Okay. So, how do you prevent sound from bad fumbling with mic? Do you recommend using a pistol kind of a grip for microphone to prevent noises from mic handling?
I think the number one problem people have when they have mic handling noise is they have a bad shock mount. So what we often suggest, and even our basic video microphones meant for DSLRs come with, and that is a Rycote shock mount. This is something that's made by a company in the UK called Rycote, and they make these little bendy things right here. That's what they make, and they make them better than anyone else in the world, which is why when we developed our own shock mount, we went right over to the UK and said, hey, Rycote, we want to develop this with you guys. We want to make a shock mount that's going to work with your little LiDAR system that you guys have invented and done a wonderful job of building. So you can actually pick these up as isolated objects. You can also just buy them in specialty things. So we developed this one that goes on DSLRs, but Rycote also makes one that's a pistol grip. It's about $80 US. We also actually sell some of our microphones with that pistol grip, and that's going to get rid of a lot of your handling noise. Something else you can do is also control your breathing. If you're going to handle microphones professionally, like a boom operator or someone who's holding it in their hand like that, it's a lot of practice. It's a lot of kind of just think about what you're doing. Think about what you're recording. Truly concentrate as hard as you can in the craft. Breathe. Don't do a lot of fast movements. The fast and more kind of nervous you get, the microphone knows. So that's kind of my best sign of two solutions is get a high quality kind of shock mount and just really practice your technique in holding the microphones so that at the end of the day, the little finger noise that you make doesn't transmit into the actual microphone itself. Hello? I think we can pull some more questions. So what I see is a question that is over here in the chat. Let me go over. I think we've lost our host, but let me actually just pull in. How do you prevent the sound from handphone? Oh, there you are. Wonderful. We've got our host back.
So if you want to take a more, I was saying that if anybody's got more questions, even after Andrew's gone, you can get in touch with Deity. I have added the link, the Facebook link in the comments, so you can use that, interact with the Facebook group or the Deity people in Facebook, and they will give you the answer. All right, so people are congratulating Sriram Rajesh for winning today's lucky dip. And that's right. If you have any more questions, please ask. Otherwise, probably Andrew, rather, sir, can you please put some, what is this? Can you please put some light on using Deity mic for work from home? Because these days, a lot of people are working from home, teaching from home, e-learning. Yeah. So which are the good products and what's the best way to use them?
It's funny this question just got asked because I just shot a YouTube video here in my studio earlier today for my YouTube channel, and this is the exact question. It's all about distance learning and teaching through Zoom conference calls. So the thing that we suggested in that question, and it's the exact same answer I'm going to suggest to you, is this guy right here, which is our Deity VLAV. It's only $50 US. What makes it a wonderful item is it's 5 meters of cable. So if you are super close and you're doing your distance teaching through the webcam on your laptop, just like I'm doing right now, my laptop is actually 1 meter away from me. Now I've got a crazy audio setup so you guys actually can hear me crystal clear, but I could have easily just done this with the VLAV. And for a lot of people who are on a budget, this microphone sounds fantastic for $50 US. You can of course spend a lot more than that, but if you're doing e-learning, odds are it's a very casual environment. You are using the webcam that's built into your laptop, and you shouldn't spend a lot of money if it's not going to actually earn you extra profit on the back end. That's something to really think about if you're doing this distance learning and teaching, is what exactly are you investing into getting the job done that's actually going to result in you making extra money. And odds are extra better audio isn't really going to pay off. So something that's really affordable is your best option.
Wonderful. I think it's what time is it? It'll be what, 1 o'clock?
Yeah, it's 1:30 a.m. my time. And I am
1:30 in the morning. Wow.
Yeah.
The coffee is working.
Absolutely. I see a question from Joel. It says, what are the disadvantages of Deity mics compared to others? It's a simple answer, Joel. Nothing. We're amazing. And I'm also humble.
That's a good one. Hey, thank you very much. There are a whole lot of people who are there just want to ask you questions just to kind of see how you're going to answer those questions. They're trick questions.
Of course it's a trick question. And honestly, here's the real answer, Joel. What's the disadvantage of our microphones compared to others? Ours don't sound like theirs. All microphones sound different from every single brand. I don't care if it's a really expensive brand, really cheap brand. None of them are going to sound identical. And no two humans sound identical also, nor do we hear things identically. So it's very subjective. So some microphones sound really, really good for some people's voices. That same microphone may sound incredibly bad on another person's voice. So my suggestion to you, Joel, is go out, find on YouTube someone that has a similar voice to you. Find out what kind of microphone they're using.
Okay. All right. So, okay, we have a fellow, a friend, YouTuber. Kunal is a very, very popular YouTuber in India. He wants to thank you, Andrew, and definitely saying he's a wonderful guy. He's a Canon ambassador. He does a lot of stuff. And so Kunal, thank you, Kunal, for being here. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you guys actually for tuning in.
Absolutely.
This is a blast for me, and I probably would do it even if you guys don't show up. But the fact that you guys are some of the most active crowd that I get to go on for a live stream, and the questions are rapid firing all the time, that's a blast for me. This has been an hour and a half, and does it feel like an hour and a half? Like I've just been having a lot of fun with you, man.
Hey, thank you very much. I mean, that's exactly why because I can see you enjoying, the question and answering the questions and even explaining them in the way we understand, a sound. You used to write analogies, because we understand photography, and you explain everything in terms of, with the right kind of comparison, which we really enjoy. It makes the learning very easy, very, it's not painful. I don't need to, kind of pin my ears into the microphone and, to the speaker and, trying to figure out what you just said, because it's not sounding high tech at all. You explained it in the plain, simple. I mean, I don't think anyone could have explained it any better. So thank you very much for that. And it's like, you made it idiot proof. You just made sure that everyone understood it. Fantastic. Thank you very much.
It totally helps that on my side of the camera, I'm an idiot.
So, but what happens is, I've experienced it when you talk to experts, subject matter experts. They come down with these high-sounding words, and they actually make that subject sound more complex than actually it is. And you went just the opposite direction. You made it. You made it sound like it's so simple, and everyone can. It's only a matter of getting down and doing it, and this is exactly how it happens. And you had the right comparisons and all that. So we really enjoyed it. Thank you very, very much. And we look forward to, probably hosting you one more time. If time permits for you, we will, we'll try and find an occasion.
It's been a blast. It's been a great night for me. I'm going to go to bed and have wonderful dreams because I'm really excited to be able to help a lot of people out there tonight.
Thank you very much. And thank you everyone for tuning in today. The COVID situation, government has eased out the lockdown, directives and all that, but don't get too excited. Don't go out and don't start, being adventurous and all that. This is the time to be very careful. Just hold on. You held on for so long. It's a matter of few more weeks. Just stay there, stay strong, and use that time to enrich your understanding of your profession, enrich yourself, enrich your soul, enrich your, work out, do something which is good for your health, and use this time very, very constructively. And of course, you have lots of stuff you can listen to Andrew. Andrew has a YouTube called Deity has a YouTube. So, Google in there. Andrew, can you share your YouTube page, please? I'd like to share the screen with the people.
Yeah, I actually totally forgot to bring it up on my, let's do that.
Yeah.
YouTube.com/Deity microphones.
Yeah.
And the internet's being slow because everyone's going there today. There it is. That is our YouTube channel. I've actually got it up right now with all my analytics, so you can see what those look like.
All right.
And that's our channel. We just put up a brand new video today all about wind protection. I know that was a question we got asked earlier today, was like how to handle wind in an outdoor situation. We've actually got a video that went up today all about that.
Sure. Wonderful. So you can also please go to the Deity channel and follow Andrew. There's tons of information there, and you already, realized how, wonderful he is, and when imparting knowledge, understanding, explaining, reviews, everything. So please go and follow Deity channel and follow Andrew. And once again, thank you, everyone. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you soon. In fact, in a few hours with another episode of Meet the Mentor from Pixel Village. We're going to be chatting with Neeta Shankar, and please come back and join us. So till then, thank you, Andrew. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye for now.